Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, former MP Julian Silvera denied a bail. Former People's National Party Member of Parliament Julian Silvera was denied a bail when he returned to the Home Circuit Court on Tuesday morning. He was remanded until September 26. Justice Vinette Graham-Allen had reserved her decision to grant a bail at Mr. Silvera's last court appearance on May 2. The hearings are being held in camera. Mr. Silvera's attorney, Peter Champagny, says that there could be an appeal of the judge's decision.
We will have to assess the specific reasons for the denial of bail and determine the way forward. I will have to receive instructions, but I am inclined to say that the prospects of an appeal in terms of bail is a live issue.
Mr. Silvera is charged with the murder of his wife, Melissa. It was initially reported that Mrs. Silvera died in her sleep on November 10 at their home in Stony Hill, St. Andrew. But a post-mortem later revealed the presence of bullet fragments in her body, prompting a murder investigation. Investigators made a breakthrough in the case in January after ballistic tests allegedly linked Mr. Silvera's licensed firearm to the shooting. Stewart High mourns a student who died in car crash. A pall of gloom blanketed Stewart High on Tuesday morning as the children and the staff paid their respects to 13-year-old Shanika Savaria, who died in a two-vehicle collision last weekend. The teen's father, Alwyn, along with restaurant manager Owen Barnes, also died in the accident that happened along the Little London Main Road in Westmoreland on Friday night. In honor of young Shanique, teachers released the blue and the pink lanterns into the sky. When the news visited the institution on Tuesday, grief counseling was underway in Shanique's former grade 8 classroom. Her classmates were brought to tears as the counselors spoke with them about the stages of grief. Speaking with the news, principal of the institution, Emily Lawrence Ricketts, said it is an emotional day. Today is a short memorial service. It is very emotional for our teachers, especially those who teach her class. We sent up some lanterns in her honor. A distressed Lawrence Ricketts lamented as she reminisced on the morning's proceedings. The headmistress added that in recent times, the school has been stalked by a number of deaths. However, she expressed her gratitude for all the support she has received from the ministry as well as guidance counselors from other schools. Describing young Savaria as a pleasant student, the headmistress said her death has resonated with even school vendors. She was one of those very pleasant students who everyone knew. Even the vendors at the fence have been talking about her since the tragic accident that ended her life and that of her father, she said. According to the police, about 9:40 p.m., a Toyota Hiace bus and a motor car were traveling in opposite directions along the roadway when the two vehicles collided. The police were summoned and the injured people were transported to hospital, where Shanique, who was a passenger in the Toyota Hiace bus, and the drivers of both their vehicles were pronounced dead. Man accused of killing homeless in Mobay has a case to answer. Ronaldo Ricketts, who is accused of murdering multiple homeless people in Montego Bay between July and August of last year, has a case to answer. A court ruling was made on Monday. Trial Judge Natisha Fairclough Hilton believes that the evidence presented before the St. James Parish Court is compelling enough to warrant transferring the case to the High Court. On the last mentioned date, the court was informed that the defendant had undergone psychiatric evaluation and was diagnosed with schizophrenia. However, despite his diagnosis, the report confirmed that he was fit to plead. Following the judge's ruling on Monday, she transferred the case to the St. James Circuit Court for mention on September 30 and remanded Ricketts in police custody. He is being represented by attorney-at-law Henry McCurdy. Ricketts was arrested by the police on August 30, 2023 in relation to the charge of abduction. It is alleged that he picked up the complainant along Humber Avenue in downtown Montego Bay and drove her to Melville Hall Avenue before pulling a knife and demanding sex from her. The woman managed to escape from the car and screamed for help, getting the attention of nearby police who were on patrol at the time. Ricketts was subsequently detained and taken into custody by the cops. It is further alleged that while he was in custody for that incident, Ricketts confessed to killing 4 homeless people in sections of Montego Bay between July 28 and August 20 last year. It is understood that all the victims were stabbed with a sharp instrument while they were sleeping. Ex-cop charged in $2 million abduction and robbery in St. Thomas. An ex-policeman is facing several criminal charges for his alleged involvement in an abduction and a $2 million robbery, his attorney has confirmed. Lonnie Piercy was charged by detectives on Tuesday with kidnapping, use of a firearm to commit a felony, robbery with aggravation, assault at a common law, and the breach of the Corruption Prevention Act, his attorney, Donovan Collins, disclosed during an interview. Piercy was picked out of a lineup during an identification parade held on Monday, Collins confirmed. It is unclear if charges have been filed against a serving police constable who remains in custody for his alleged involvement in the robbery. But according to Collins, his client's employer has shown police investigators surveillance camera footage which clearly showed Piercy at work in St. Mary at a time that would make it impossible for him to be in St. Thomas committing the alleged offense. For some strange reason, the police officers from iProbe have failed to take the footage or the device as part of their investigation, Collins said, making reference to the Police Internal Affairs Unit, Inspectorate and the Professional Standard Oversight Bureau. This, in my opinion, is indicative of the bias that some investigators operate with when conducting investigations. Collins said his client has been cooperating with investigators from the outset and that he directed them to the address of his employer where he was apprehended. Investigators believe the victim of the $2 million robbery, which took place in St. Thomas recently, was set up by a close friend who he told that he had collected a large sum of cash. He reportedly told the investigators that his abductors warned him that they would lose him if they were not paid millions of dollars for his release. The victim got to the funds and gave it to his abductors, and then he was released. He was warned not to report anything to the authorities. He did, and the investigation began, a source told the news. RGD to commence printing marriage and death certificates in Braille come July 1. The Registrar General's Department will take another step towards inclusivity and accessibility with the printing of Braille certificates for marriages and deaths effective July 1. Building on the successful initiative launched on May 1, where birth certificates were made available in Braille, the RGD remains committed to ensuring that all citizens, including those with visual impairments, have equal access to essential documentation. In an interview with the news, the department's acting Deputy Chief Executive Officer and the Director of Operations Management, Carrion Jones, shared that come July 1, persons will also be able to request the service online. She noted further that the introduction of Braille certificates not only aligns with the RGD's broader vision of leveraging technology and innovation to promote societal equity, but it blends seamlessly into the Government of Jamaica's broader policy for improving inclusion for all in its service delivery. As it relates to the application process, she informed the news that it would remain the same, where persons can visit any of the RGD locations and speak with one of their customer service representatives or apply through its online platform. Once the information is added to our database, an application will be printed for the customer to review, she said, adding that the only difference with the Braille certificates is that they are printed as a normal certificate and then embossed with Braille. Additionally, she pointed out that the service is being offered at no extra cost, making it equally accessible to all. Persons may either utilize the 7 to 10 day service, which will attract a cost of $3,000, or the standard 6-week service for $2,000.